Welcome back. So since the last update I was running the engine again and I ended up having that same problem I had a long time ago where the oil collar on in the redrive welded itself to the prop shaft again. So, and you know, possibly because there was some dirt and debris or a little bit of metal or something like that from the previous engine and the oil in there, but it could have been something else. But anyway, the solution on this one I think is to change out the material for that. So as you can see, I've been waiting on a machine shop to make one out of Delrin for me. So anyway, this is what's been going on here.
Alright, so there's the shaft, and so what was happening on there, the oil collar again welded itself on there, and even with the bearings that were holding it away from there, I guess potentially some debris or something got in there. But the solution isn't to just go with the metal one again. You see there's what it looks like in there, and you can, well, it doesn't look too bad in there, but it did actually get you know, welded to the shaft again. We're able to press it clear again, but you can see some damage there on that back ring there, on those close ones there. You can see how it was welded on there. Anyway, so regardless of whether it was debris from the other that was in the oil or something else or whatever that got in there, the solution is not to have the same metals on there, because it just welds itself. So, and this is why I've been waiting, and it's been a while since I had a video, because I had to get this guy made. So the local machine shop made this out of Delrin. It's basically the same thing, except this one, because Delrin is, you know, kind of like a bearing in itself. It doesn't have to have the bearings in it. So that surface there is going to be the bearing on the shaft here, and then those inner surfaces there are slightly larger diameter to allow the oil to sort of pass from the center channel to the side channels, and then it drains out of these two holes, again the same as the other one, and it feeds out of this one. There's no play or anything like that, but you know, you can just rotate it by hand, so there's very little friction on there. So it's gonna basically, you know, do what the other one's supposed to do, and hopefully it doesn't get affected too much by heat and or by oil absorption. But that's what testing's all about. And you know, don't get too excited about, oh, this is not the right solution stuff, you know, because I've got some other ideas for production that's going to potentially not involve any of this. But for the now, I still have to get this running, you know, so I can transport the aircraft in the air and not have to put it on a truck. So I don't want to be running the prop at flat pitch all the way across the country. So anyway, this was a fairly easy fix, so we'll just see if it works. Now I got the new oil cooler in there, so I haven't mounted it yet, but I've got everything to mount it, and I've trimmed off the bottom brackets, as you see there, so it will fit in the space that I have there. And you actually tell the difference between this one and the other one. This one, the materials are a little bit heavier, everything's a little bit thicker in terms of the gauge on there. So I think it's just better construction than the other one. I think the other one was a cheap Chinese knockoff of this design, and this I think is made here in the US, or at least it's made to better quality. It's a little bit heavier than the other one and stuff, so hopefully that'll do the trick and not you know, leak so quickly as the other one did. Yeah, lastly, I worked on creating this little inlet scoop here for that opening that I did in the cowling. Just got to put the last bolt in there to hold that. But as you can see down underneath, it basically just sticks out like that, and it's going to capture the air, and it's, you know, it's pretty strong compared to, you know, for what it is, just the aluminum. I think it's about 60 gauge, 60 thou aluminum. So it should work fine to capture that air, instead of just hoping that it gets sucked in there. This will direct it into the intercooler. Okay, so as you can see, I've got everything back together there, prop back on, redrive back in, everything like that. So now it remains to be seen whether this new oil collar made out of Delrin there is actually going to work okay. So the next step is to test it. I'm just going to wait for the Loctite that I put in around that oil seal in the back of the redrive, wait for that to set up. I don't want to start, you know, pushing oil pressure in there while that's still wet. So I'll be testing that tomorrow.